এই গভর্নমেন্টে যে লিজ ট্রাসের গভর্নমেন্ট যখন বাজেট ইন্ট্রোডিউস করছে এই বাজেটের অনেক খারাপ হয়েছে যেনে সবার মর্গেজ বাড়ছে যারা রেন্টি তারারও কস্ট বাড়ে প্রাইভেট রেন্টের যারা ন্যাশনাল হেলথ সার্ভিস অলরেডি তারা ক্রাইসিস এখন আমরা দেখলাম যে সামনে দিয়ে হেলথ সার্ভিসের বাজেটও আরও কমানি হইব 7 মিলিয়ন মানুষ ওয়েটিং লিস্টে জিপি যারা জিপি অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্ট পাইরা না অনেক অসুবিধা আমি জানি যখন আমরা গভর্নমেন্টে আসলাম ন্যাশনাল হেলথ সার্ভিসে অনেক স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন আছে জিপি 2 দিনের ভিতরে দেখা যাইতো অনেক সময় মানুষের কমপ্লেন করছেন যে অত সহালখানে দেখা হয় আরও সময় লাগে তারা টাইম মতো অর্গানাইজ করার লাগে চেষ্টা করছে কিন্তু আমরা প্রায়োরিটি যেটা আছে যে অন টার্গেট যেটা টার্গেট মিট করার জন্য unfortunately what's happened is that over the last 12 years we've seen the Conservative government make cuts to public services and local government on policing, on health, on housing. And as a result of this, people are suffering. And what we're now going to get is more cuts as well as tax rises. And that's why it's so important that people get involved. And I hope people will support the Labour Party when a general election comes, because we need to get rid of this Conservative government because they have done nothing but damage our economy, damage people's livelihoods, and increase the cost of living on top of the wider crisis that people face.
Tower Hamlets, we've got a big challenge to take on. We've got enormous opportunities but massive inequalities. We see people really struggling with the cost of living. NHS services at the Royal London and services right across London really struggling. So my message to people is the cavalry is coming with Labour. We've got plans for the biggest expansion of NHS staff in history. We'll double the number of doctors we recruit and train at universities, increase nursing and midwifery clinical training places by 10,000, double the number of district nurses, 5,000 more health visitors, and we will fund that by abolishing the non-dom tax status, because we think that residents in Tower Hamlets need more doctors and more nurses more than the wealthiest need a tax break. That's how we'll make the NHS fit for the future. The cavalry is coming with Labour, and in Tower Hamlets and right across the country we are not taking people for granted. We're determined to earn people's trust and support, not just criticising the Conservatives or criticising the Mayor of Tower Hamlets, but actually setting out what Labour would do, a Labour alternative reflecting people's priorities. That's the kind of message and the positive vision that Keir Starmer and the whole Labour team are now offering. Conservative chaos has crashed the economy, left working people paying the price with higher taxes and public service cuts. And who's paying the price? It's not very wealthy people like Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Parliamentary Party. It's ordinary working people who've seen their taxes go up because the Conservatives have...
Do you think Rishi Sunak will run the country nicely, or any early election?
Sorry?
Any early election, do you think any early election will come?
Well, we want a general election. We have been calling for a general election. I think it's unacceptable that we've had now 3 prime ministers this year and they haven't agreed to a general election. They don't have a mandate. Liz Truss has destroyed the economy, and what we have is the new Prime Minister avoiding election, both with the members as well as a general election. They are running scared, but in the meantime they're continuing to cause damage to people's lives and livelihoods and making people poorer. And we're now in a recession, which is likely to last at least 2 years. So this is a government that's totally destroying people's lives, and child poverty has gone up to 4 million now. We've got children going hungry in this country. We've got people struggling to pay their bills, and it's just going to get worse. And this is not something that's happened by accident. It's because this government has caused the chaos and the damage. That's why people are having to pay more and they're suffering. That's why we need a Labour government.